like the Intuition into Souls package.
Oh,
I
baby.
mean, let me tell you that the GP, that was like, just to put things in perspective, there were 3 High Tide decks in the top 16 of that GP. That doesn't, to show where Legacy was at the time, that doesn't happen anymore.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, Intuition for Lingering Souls won it.
Here's a Gataxian Probe. Get a good look, Caleb, at the Thoughtseize, Stoneforge Mystic, Island, Counterspell, Brainstorm, Polluted Delta hand. There's a Snapcaster Mage too.
Well, as long as the fetch land gets bad lands, we're set.
Caleb will write all this information down. Go down to 18. A powerful deck of Legacy's past, but you know, we can laugh all we like. Shaheen is 6-1.
Yeah.
So, clearly
I mean,
something's working.
Shaheen is excellent at these tap-out Esper decks.
Yes, he always has been.
But does he have the weapons to stop on this on Storm? It's a turn 1 Divining Top from Caleb.
Pretty good against the Thoughtseize hand.
And I wonder if you don't know Caleb, you know, that's... Or sorry, Caleb's on with Badlands. Badlands into Divining Top is not necessarily clear what you're playing against.
Not at the start.
Right, it will be shortly. I mean, we know Shaheen has some discards, so that'll be fine. He'll know.
It is kind of like this unusual start with Probe into top off of a Badlands. Like, you can probably narrow it down pretty quickly.
What I do like about it, yeah, so Shaheen gets Scrubland. So his lands were Island, Scrubland, and then he had Stoneforge Mystic, Thoughtseize, Counterspell. You can't actually get the mana to pay for all those off that.
No.
It's okay. It'll work.
Hey, here's Thoughtseize. Lotus Petal, Brainstorm, Cabal Therapy, Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual. Now Shaheen knows what he's up against.
Oh yeah.
I like taking Brainstorm here, I think.
So yes and no. The worry about taking Brainstorm is that because Caleb has a Divining Top in play, all he has to do is he can spend 1 turn spinning, and maybe spin like an Ad Nauseam or one of the payoff cards to the top, and then his hand is very good. Taking Dark Ritual may also be pretty reasonable here, just because it is the highest velocity card in the hand.
Looked like he was reaching towards that Lotus Petal. All right, he's going to go with Brainstorm.
Yeah, I think it's between those two. Brainstorm a very reasonable one to take there.
Scherer going to spin top on upkeep. Looking at Infernal Tutor, Underground Sea, and a Bloodstained Mire.
All right, so if he gets the Infernal Tutor, he was, I believe he is short. Yeah, he has Petal, Dark Ritual.
He'd have to get the Therapy out of his hand, too.
So he'd have to pay for the Therapy, so he'd go down to 3. Dark Ritual. He could Infernal Tutor on an empty hand. He'd be at 1 mana after he did it.
Wouldn't be enough to really do much of anything.
Right.
But also, for what it's worth, what's the rush?
I mean, conversely, he can just keep spinning some lands up to the top, and then next turn have 3 natural lands, some rituals, and have a much more robust path to go off. And there's the island.
There's Stoneforge Mystic.
All right. So Caleb knows about the counterspell in Sheen's hand. That's not a problem.
Get a Veteran Sidearm.
That'd be sweet.
What other equipment is there for Magic Origins?
Preparing for that GP next weekend.
Yeah.
He could get Sword of the Animus.
There you go.
There we go. As long as he's willing to pay 1 more to equip, he can start getting basics out of his deck. It's probably better than the sidearm.
I think maybe
2 to play, 2 to equip. It's just like GT.
They're basically the same card. Caleb is going to spin his top.
Get Throwing Knife.
That card is super slow, that format. It's not bad, it's just so slow.
It's like this really expensive shock.
Yes.
Sometimes you put on 1/1s.
Those Thopters mean boss when they have the Throwing Knife.
You know, and that's the thing, is that those are the creatures you put a Throwing Knife on, but that doesn't even flavorfully make sense. Thopters wouldn't throw a knife at you. If you're telling me your plan is to be this mechanical Thopter in the sky and throw knives at people, that doesn't, I don't know.
Maybe.
I get it when like a Topin Freeblade has a throwing knife. That makes sense.
Here's a Snapcaster Mage. All
right.
This is very Shaheen for what it's worth. This
Yeah.
is, I mean,
He's tapping out each turn.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him do this a million times in Legacy, right? It's, okay, start with a discard spell or like a Ponder or something, and then Stoneforge Mystic, get equipment, Snapcaster Mage, make you discard again. So that's exactly what he's doing. I've seen this start from him a million times.
Exactly what he's doing. He's just going to get these beats. Now, the Divining Top is still doing work here. Remember that. If he takes Therapy, it's a big tell, I think, from the store side of things that he has a Force of Will or some sort of counter spell if he's not worried at all. Now, there's a danger here, is that Caleb untaps, duresses, then rituals out everything, taps Divining Top to draw a payoff card, and goes for it.
Yep. That payoff card looks like it's going to be Infernal Tutor.
Yeah, I mean, he has to make sure he has enough mana at that point, but...
The draw for Caleb was duress. He's just going to pass the turn back.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have enough mana just yet because he can ramp up to 7. He would duress down to 6, Infernal Tutor to 4. It's not ad nauseum just yet. It's very close, though.
There's a Brainstorm, couple of cards drawn.
Yeah, I believe if he waits a turn, he can mix a Cabal Ritual into this.
Yep.
And after all the cracked Lotus Petals and that cracked Fetch Land and the duress, he would be at Threshold when it happened.
Which matters a lot right now.
Yeah.
Here come the beatdowns. Not the best clock we've ever seen, but it's good enough.
I mean, the part, Shaheen doesn't have any untapped blue.
There's Thoughtseize.
Oh, that's a beating. And
Yeah,
I
you like
think
taking duress or dark ritual?
duress.
Here? Yeah.
If you lose your Force of Will, you are in so much trouble.
He's got 2 in his hand.
It's 2?
Yep.
Do you have a blue card to go with him?
I think 2 and then 1 blue card. I think the counter spell is still over there. And he's got a Jace the Mind Sculptor. It's actually pretty well protected. 2 blue cards and 2 Force of Wills, 2 blue cards in Jace and counter spell, and then a Source of Plowshares, which is pretty poor, but you know, it's the last card that's left over.
Yeah, well, what I don't mind is, I mean, Caleb still, this Divine Top's doing a lot of work. He gets to draw Ponder here. He can Ponder, take 1, crack a fetch land, spin a top.
Keep building.
Yeah. And he can take his payoff card in Infernal Tutor, or he can go for Cabal Ritual if he just still wants more mana. I think you want the Infernal Tutor because you have to assume you're fighting through some counter spells.
He's going to keep. He'll draw.
Yeah, well, he keeps so that he can crack a fetch land and then spin the top and see 3 new. Unless he just wants another ritual.
He might want that Cabal Ritual and then crack and go from there.
Well, he can do both. He can spin, then crack, then spin.
Sure.
Which, so, you know, I think what the next card down is important here. The best draw for Caleb is Cabal Therapy, actually, because he can simply name Force of Will, of which Shaheen has 2.
The Shaheen had put away that Umezawa's GTA from Brainstorm, so we'll see if he wants to get the GTA again, or if he wants to get the Batter Skull. He'll go with Batter Skull this time.
Like that, it's a faster clock. Caleb, what's his new card? He'll take down, it's a Ponder. Is that worth drawing, or does he need... I don't know. He probably has, I don't know if he has time. Oh, it's difficult. He's gonna go ahead and get the Ponder. Yeah.
You shuffle away.
Yeah, well, I think he wants to set up for something this turn if possible. So, seeing 3 new cards, you're really looking for that Cabal Therapy.
Well, we're going to see 3 new cards here in just a second. Scherer's going to spin the top. And you mentioned Caleb has always been a big fan of top in his Storm decks. So Infernal Tutor is 1. Excuse me. Scalding Tarn's 2. Dark Ritual's 3.
So he may... Okay, if he draws Dark Ritual, he can Ritual out his entire hand for mana, have an empty hand, cast the Infernal Tutor in his hand. Then when he gets Force of Will, he can tap top, draw another Infernal Tutor, and go from there.
But there's not a lot of mana floating there. Because remember, he does not have Cabal Ritual right now.
There's not... Well, he gets Dark Ritual, Petal, Petal. So he actually gets his way up from 3 to 9. That should be enough.
Well, he's going to make a move.
Yeah, I think this will work.
I mean, it depends on what Shaheen wants to counter here. Because Shaheen knows what he's working with for the most part. Because he's seen his hand a couple of times with Thoughtseizes.
So Dark Ritual, Yeah, does Shaheen choose to counter here? That's a big question.
Because remember, Shaheen has 2 forces and 2 blue cards.
Well, he has the second blue card for the second force. Well, then he's just going to get to counter both Infernal Tutors,
Yeah.
and Caleb is in trouble. But I don't think Caleb can afford to play around double force, double blue card at this point.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're right. He does have 2 blue cards. So, I mean, the only way Caleb can play around that is where he just going to, I mean, he would just have to find Cabal Therapy. Then that's his out. So I don't believe this is going to work.
Here's Infernal Tutor. There's your Force of Will. Shaheen going to remove Jace the Mind Sculptor. Much too slow right now. Now Scherer is going to draw. Play another Infernal Tutor. This one's going to get countered too. Now he's empty-handed. Top on top of the deck, no manas. And Shaheen's got a good enough board to clean this game up with.
Yeah, but that was the play for Caleb. It forced Shaheen to have the double force.
Shaheen going to come across for 4. Put Scherer down to 6. This is a Snapcaster Mage. Well, it looks like it's going to be a Snapcaster Mage in a moment. And just pass the turn back. Scherer's going to draw Sensei's Divining Top. He'll recast it and spin it here in just a second. See if there's any help.
Yeah, at 5, there's not much he can find.
Yeah, and he's going to concede the game. So Shaheen Soorani's going to win game number 1 here over Caleb Scherer. Esper Stoneblade will take care of Storm. Some discard, some Force of Wills, and just a quick enough clock helps Soorani get the job done there. We'll go to the sideboards here, and we will start with Scherer. Of course, his Storm deck, a lot of colors here. He's got 3 Abrupt Decays, 2 Chain of Vapors, 2 Xanthan Swarms, 2 Disfigures, 2 Surgical Extractions, and ad nauseam, a Hercules Recall, a Rebuild, and a Tropical Island to kind of help facilitate those green cards. Anything in that sideboard that you like?
Okay, well, when you look at the Esper Stoneblade deck, it's a decent mix of discard and counter spells in this matchup. So it's not like he can just use Xanthan Swarm to block all the counter spells, though he may want to put some of them in. Outside of that, there's not much that he wants here. I think a second ad nauseum is within reason. And I don't think he wants anything else. He could, if he expects Meddling Mage, maybe he goes for some Abrupt Decays, but I don't think so.
Take a look at Shaheen's sideboard here. He's definitely got some bad cards as sideboard out, some slow equipment, some Swords of Plowshares, things of that nature. He's got 2 Cabal Therapies, 2 Perish, 2 Spell Pierce, 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Containment Priest to go along with the Disenchant. A Teleman's Performance, a Blue Elemental Blast, a Notion Thief, and a Force of Will.
He is ready for this matchup. Yeah, Spell Pierce is great. Teleman's Performance wins the game.
Yep.
Rest in Peace is fantastic. This is the last Force of Will is good. This is a post board. This should be decisively in Shaheen's favor.
I think so, yeah. He's got some really good cards to sideboard in this matchup. I don't know if he was expecting Storm coming in this weekend or not, but he's got some cards that are really good against it.
I mean, if you put Teleman's Performance in his sideboard, I think he did. I don't know what else he'd board that in against. Like, I guess you could board that in against Omnitel, if you ever thought it would resolve.
Get the package, Intuition for 2 Snapcaster Mages and a Teleman's Performance.
You have to put your 7 mana, you're gonna flash that back.
Ever heard of it? Oh,
geez.
we call that one the package.
It's the 7 mana Emrakul. I mean, in Legacy, is 7 different than 15?
It's close.
It's like...
It's close. We're going to quickly talk about the newsletter here with Star City Games before we watch Shaheen go back to work. It's your source of Magic the Gathering news. You get the latest on the Open Series. You'll also find the Open Series Match of the Week, which it could be this one, depending on what happens between Soorani and Scherer. You receive exclusive deck list and advice, actually this month from Shaheen. He'll be writing that part of the newsletter all month long. You have to catch up on all of the event results on the Open Series and other circuits, and then you can read an exclusive cardboard crack comic. Most importantly, it is completely free. StarCityGames.com/newsletter for more information. We've revamped it and we've made it a lot better. So definitely check that out. And as mentioned, it is free. As we get ready to see the package come in from Shaheen. I want to know if he's telling performance to anyone out. That's really all that I ask.
I mean, the thing I like about Shaheen is a lot, like, a lot of times when you see players, get to like a pro level in the game, they move away from the gotcha cards. But when you look at Shaheen's sideboard, he's like a Telemann Performance, a Notion Thief. I mean, he's gonna get him. When he gets him, he's gonna get him real good. I almost want to see like a Shadow of Doubt in the main.
Very Chapin-esque, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about Shaheen that I will always love is that he's never wavered from what's gotten him to do well, ever. Ever. He is the expensive sorcery master. That has been his nickname at some point in time. He has never wavered from tapping mana on his own turn in a control shell. He's currently very upset that Standard does not have Wrath of God or Day of Judgment anymore, that the Wraths are conditional or expensive, though he was somewhat pleased that Languish is an option now.
I mean, you saw that game, he just tapped out a bunch. It was Thoughtseize into Stoneforge, into Snapcaster Thougeize. Yeah, sure, let's do this.
Yeah, he's been doing it for, the better part of a decade. Just been playing this kind of Magic. And to his credit, he's been winning a lot doing it this way. He has a 9th place at the World Championships many moons ago. We've seen him make the top 8 of Grand Prix. He did top 8 4 invitationals in a row. So, what he's been doing with Esper across multiple formats is something that has worked, and it's working this weekend as well. He is 6-1. See, both players are going to take a look at their opening hand right now. Scherer going to take a mulligan, not happy with his opening hand at all. Sent that back pretty quick.
The thing I like about Shaheen decks is he can keep most of his hands. They all are similar.
They're all fine, right?
Yeah, no, there's no great hand and there's no bad hand. Just as long as he's got a fetch land, another land, and they aren't all 4s, it's probably a go.
Probably fine. Like his last hand that we watched, he couldn't cast all of Counterspell, Snapcaster Mage, and
right,
and like Thoughtseize or whatever. Like his hand was all weird based off the 2 lands he had, but it worked out. The basic island was being a little bit annoying there. See if Caleb likes the 6.
I don't know if he has yet. Do you think maybe you only have 1 land in it?
He's going to sacrifice Blue to Delta. Get a copy of Underground Sea.
See where he wants to go here.
A Duress. Get a look at Shaheen's hand. Find a Force of Will, a Ponder, a Jace, and just a bunch of lands. Welcome to 2007.
This is fine. Got some lands and a Ponder.
Yeah.
A Force of Will if your hand's really good.
Yep. The easy keep.
I mean, if he just takes the Ponder, then Shaheen's hand is a Force of Will.
Storm can typically beat a Force of Will.
I mean, maybe he has to take the Force of Will. Yeah, all right.
There you go.
Yeah, success.
Drew a blue elemental blast.
Could work. Sometimes Caleb plays red spells. You're going to shuffle off the Ponder. All right. It's probably going to be a winner after that card. I mean, oh boy.
Does Caleb have a red spell? Besides Past in Flames?
He's not playing Rite of Flame. He has a Past in Flame. Yeah, he has a Past in Flames.
That's it, right?
Okay, so we have blue elemental blast added in against a deck with 1 red spell.
Wow.
But that red spell is important, man.
It is very good. It is very good.
He's going to counter Past in Flames with it. This game is going to end with Shaheen countering Past in Flames.
It would not surprise me.
And be like, yeah, that's what it's for. It's like, all right.
It's like when we watched Noah Cohen get Teferi's response, and everyone who was watching was like, no, don't do that, don't do that. You don't know what Teferi's response does. That happened at Open earlier this year. Here's a Stoneforge Mystic.
We would draw into that. That was the part of the game plan. And, I mean, the Blue Elemental Blast can pitch to...
the Force of Will.
So Shaheen just is cold right now. He doesn't have any... Caleb can put together a Storm. He's got it. Now, Caleb has Disfigure and Abrupt Decay in hand right now, so has gone on this reaction plan. I mean, it's not bad, but there's this worry that Shaheen's just going to play Jace on turn 4 and... or Telemann Performance on turn 5 and win.
So what's really weird is, like, I understand why Caleb has gone to this sort of reactionary plan would disfigure an Abrupt Decay because typically these Extra Stoneblade decks, they bring in stuff like Meddling Mage and, you know, permanents, Ethersworn Canvas, stuff that you want to kill. But Shaheen actually doesn't really have any of that stuff.
Why is engineered? So he has engineered explosives in case Caleb's trying to empty the Warrens.
I mean, it's a hedge.
Sure. A Blue Blast. These cards, some real narrow stuff here. Blue Blast for the Past in Flames. And Caleb doesn't have much going on, though. I think Shaheen's fine. This Jace could just carry the day.
There's Disfigure. There's a Scalding Tarn. Soorani will draw. Picked up a copy of Tundra.
All right. It's back and forth. Is this just going to be eventually Shaheen plays a Jace?
As it currently stands, that's what it seems like.
Yeah. I think there's an argument to Shaheen just dropping this Engineer Explosives on 0 so that he can maybe... I don't know. I was going to say so that Caleb can't dump Lotus Petals on the board. That doesn't even really matter.
Yeah,
no, I'll just hang on to it.
I think it's reasonable just to play it just because of something like a Lion's Eye Diamond. It makes Caleb have to sequence and spells correctly in a certain fashion. There's no concern of the Goblins getting haste from Empty the Warrens. That's not the thing that's going to happen.
Right.
But, you know, I think that it's better off there on the battlefield than in hand. Also because of a discard spell, too.
Cabal Therapy from Caleb. Is he going to name Jace?
Yeah.
All right. So Batterskull, Blue Blast, 2 lands from Shaheen. Not normally how these games play out, but...
I think they play out a lot more like game number 1, but we are in a weird area.
I would have expected most of the time Shaheen to be dead at this point.
You drew a copy of Thoughtseize. Fire that off.
That's going to be good. Caleb's been building up toward this Infernal Tutor.
Yeah, Caleb's hand is weird too. Abrupt Decay, Dark Ritual, and Infernal Tutor. I think you're snapping off that tutor.
Yeah, it's the only card that does anything. That's what it'll take. Maybe a 4/4 for 5 will be enough. And right on command, Caleb draws the only red card in his deck.
The passive. No, Empty the Warrens. It was Empty the Warrens.
Okay.
He could still have Past in Flames. So yes, he has two total red
cards. Okay.
One of them is actually good to blast. One of them is not.
He's gonna blue blast something. There's no justice in the world.
Oh, bitter old combo player coming out of you a little bit.
Yeah, man.
There's a Batterskull.
All right. This isn't even that bad because now Caleb can Abrupt Decay away the Germ.
Yeah. So it's not even that big of a deal.
I mean, in 2 more turns, I guess it is. Draws a land.
Just pass the turn back. Take a draw. Council's Judgment.
What?
All right, all
right. Explain me that. Why are all these cards in the deck?
Okay, so that one I think is for Xantid Swarm.
Okay, hold on. There's no way. There are not that many dead cards in this deck.
I think that one's for Xantid Swarm. It also kills Carpet of Flowers. There are targets that matter. There are targets that matter.
All right.
It's a bit of a stretch, but there are targets that matter.
Ooh.
Pass the turn back.
Just rather have, I guess, Blue Elemental Blast pitches to Force of Will, which at least is better than a lot of these white cards.
Stoneforge Mystic the draw. I'm really surprised Caleb is just continuously taking this instead of Abrupt Decaying the token.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't killed the token. Land 7 from Shaheen. Here comes Stoneforge Mystic.
Yep.
Still with his hand is still Council's Judgment, Blue Elemental Blast. Caleb just needs literally anything.
Shaheen, no equipment to search up. Go. Awesome.
Wait, why are we killing it now?
Well, I think what he's going to do now, I think, if he's not killing the token, then he's killing the Engineer Explosives to make it empty the Warrens. I mean, that much is obvious.
All right, so at least this way he can empty for some number.
Yeah. See what the draw is here. Another copy of Abrupt Decay.
Ooh. Then he has to wonder how many tokens. He just passes because he can abrupt decay the whichever creature has the batter skull on it.
Rest in peace, the draw.
That's good. That one will help him.
Yep.
He's at 5. I'm assuming Sheen just attacks and says, "Show me that you're not dead."
Yeah, no, it doesn't appear to be very much else for Shaheen to do this turn. I mean, the question I think he's asking is, do I want to play? This is interesting. Okay. So the reason he's not attacking with the Stoneforge Mystic is so that he can play.
He can reset the
He
batter
can reset the
skull.
batter skull, yeah.
Rest in Peace will take care of Caleb's graveyard. That'll make it much harder for him to combo out, as a lot of the ways he would want to combo involve Past in Flames.
Which Blue Elemental Blast has covered.
Right.
So now Past in Flames is probably pretty bad.
It's got him covered on all fronts.
Shaheen will search up a land, pass the turn back. Scherer will draw. Copy a Ponder. First real draw step for Caleb in a while. It is time to go spinning. Scalding Tarn, Brainstorm. He'll keep it. Scherer is going to sacrifice a Scalding Tarn.
Makes sense. The best way he can see the most cards is with sequenced this way.
There's Badlands. Does have a copy of Tendrils in hand.
Sheen at 28, that's unlikely to work. He would need a lot of spells. And at 4, he can't just ad nauseum for a lot of spells either.
Here's Brainstorm. Probe is 1. Delta is 2. Bloodstained Mire's 3.
Well, he can survive for a while. He could make a lot of goblins, but I'm not sure if that gets him anywhere.
Yeah, that's my concern. I'm not sure if that gets him anywhere either. Brainstorm is done resolving. There's a land for the turn. Remember, he already had a fetch land on the battlefield. He just hadn't sacrificed it for a while, so this is Scherer's first land of the turn as he goes a little bit lower. Now here's Cataxian Probe. There's a good hand.
Caleb down to 1.
Cabal
Draws.
Therapy.
Not really a card worth taking.
Nope.
You can therapy away the Blue Elemental Blast.
Dark Ritual.
Spell 5.
Yeah, empty spell 6.
So
Blindside Diamond spell
Diamond.
6 and now empty spell 7. All right.
So he has 14 goblins. That will keep him alive for a while, but the rebuild, I'm not sure. I mean, he has 1 Abrupt Decay left in his deck to deal with that Rest in Peace. And then he'll have to rebuild. I guess one Abrupt Decay followed by 1 Dark Petition would actually be enough.
Force of Will to draw for Shaheen.
That'll make things harder. He can hard cast it to this point. And the lifelink off Batterskull being really relevant right now.
Yeah. I think if you're Caleb, you just chump block. I don't think you block with 4. I don't think it accomplishes very much because Shaheen can just Shaheen has so much mana he can just easily reset.
Right. I agree.
And he'd rather lose 1 goblin at a time instead of 4 goblins at a time.
Shaheen wants he can Council's Judgment away the LED.
Sure. Cabal Ritual to draw here for Caleb.
Remember, the graveyard is exiled due to Rest in Peace. That's only going to make 3.
Scherer just passed the turn back, and that's what Caleb's going to do a lot of these turns, I think.
I mean, there is an issue that Shaheen has this bind that the batter's goal is putting Shaheen at a life total, where Caleb would need a full deck Storm combo to win. You'd have to cast almost all his spells and then flash them back. But Rest in Peace is stopping that line.
Shaheen with a big draw there in Dig Through Time. The old Dig Through Time Rest in Peace combo deck.
Well, if he gets an 8th land, which he just drew.
Ding!
So he's actually just going to cast it for 8. Me saying 7 was unattainable. Well, clearly wrong on that front.
There's a probe. Oh, get a good look.
Get a good look at what's about. You have no idea what's about to happen. Yeah, this. It's coming.
8-mana Dig Through Time on the way.
I should do that. At this point, if I were Caleb, you do that. How many lands do you have? And the answer would kind of, wave your eyebrow and be like, okay.
Bang.
Here we go.
I think what we all want, Shaheen, is a Telemann performance. So if you could just find that.
That seems great. That would put a real stamp on the end of this game.
It really would.
It would sum up the game very nicely. That sometimes matchups don't play out how we think they do. Sometimes players play a bunch of cards that actually don't interact with the other person's deck, and then one person Telemann performances the other, and then it's game.
I think Shaheen has found the 2 that he's happy with. Dig Through Time is done resolving. An 8-mana Dig Through Time as there's nothing to delve away. Jace the draw, and that's probably
That's way less exciting.
Yeah.
But probably better. Oh, not better, just they're both good.
Gonna clear the way with Thoughtseize.
Imagine he'll take the Dark Ritual, because if at any point Caleb ever got rid of the Rest in Peace, Dark Ritual is a better card than Lion's Eye Diamond. Or Cabal Ritual, as it were.
In comes the Batter's Skull. There goes a Goblin token. And now here is the best Planeswalker of all time. Now here's the thing about Shaheen.
Oh, God.
No, don't laugh. Don't laugh. I was trying to beat him to it. Never Fate Seals. Ever.
Oh, God.
Never Fate Seals. Always Brainstorms.
I understand the principle of it, but
never Fate Seals.
I mean, clearly. All right.
Jace has 1 mode. I know there are 4 things to choose from on Jace. It has 1 mode for Shaheen. Brainstorm.
I mean, there's literally just 1 live card in Caleb's deck. Fate Sealing seems very appropriate in this situation.
There's 1 live card in Shaheen's deck. Telemann Performance. You're looking at it all wrong.
No, that's not how that works.
You're looking at it all wrong, Matthias. They're both playing to 1 card.
So whoever has more cards must... All right.
Now you understand. Now you understand.
I mean, at that point, we could Fate Seal ourselves. I mean, everything's fair game.
Now Shaheen's going to really start the Brainstorm loop. So he's going to Brainstorm, Hardcast, put 2 cards back, and then you Brainstorm with Jace, so you actually get to see another card.
So you turned the Brainstorm in your hand into, like, into Reach Through Mists?
And look, we have found a Lingering Souls now.
Why is Lingering Souls
Why
still in the
wouldn't
deck?
it gotta win somehow?
No, that's fine. Actually, there's a lot of dead cards that... No, Lingering Souls should still be in the deck.
Yeah, Shaheen has so many dead cards game 1.
Okay, he just plus to the Jace, though.
Did he Fate Seal? Boo! I can't believe this.
I think
But
remember, it wasn't the first thing. That's not how it started.
I think Shaheen is going to begrudgingly cast Lingering Souls.
Or he's just going to cast second Jace and then Brainstorm.
Either or. It's Spirit tokens are here. Caleb's at 1.
Oh, yeah, they're fly. Okay, so that's actually a really good card then.
Those are lethal, yeah.
All right. I'd like 1 more shot at the Telemann performance.
Oh, now you're on board with the performance.
I mean, that would have been sweet. I just thought it would be a fitting ending.
Did he draw it? No. Come on. He's moving the Batter's Skull over.
All right.
And in he comes. Shaheen Soorani's going to win this match here over Caleb Scherer. 2 games to 0.
All right.
Esper Stoneblade, circa 2009, 2010. takes down Storm, and for Shaheen, he's 7-1. He's locked in for day 2. And he could be making his way towards top 8 with this old school deck.
I have a lot to learn about this format.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. The expensive Sorcery Master himself on the left.
That game made no sense, but Shaheen wins 2-0 in convincing fashion.
It was very convincing.